What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Files. It's only been a week. We had the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'm like, man, it's going to be probably a couple months before I do like another live stream talking about a show, but we got a show to talk about, and that is one of the best shows so far this year, and that is Amazon Prime's Invincible, and we just got a finale that was more than satisfying, met expectations, exceeded expectations, and sets up more things to come in the future seasons. And I wanted to come and bring a panel together, kind of my own kind of Guardians of the Globe per se, and we're going to break into this discussion. But before we dive into our thoughts on the finale, kind of talking about the season, I have some panelists that are familiar with the comics. We'll kind of dive into that, and we'll just have some fun talking about all the fun, our favorite episodes, favorite characters, and of course theories for the seasons to come. But before we dive into all that, guys, first and foremost, thank you for everyone that's tuning in live on this beautiful Saturday. If you guys can do us a favor, make sure you're liking the video, sharing the video to everyone you know that's been watching this show, to dive into the discussion, talk about their theories, their pros, their cons, their favorite characters, and all that fun stuff. And of course, if you're watching this on the replay, if you can do the same, it'll be greatly appreciated. So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring in the Guardians of the Globe, starting off with this gentleman here who has been on the channel quite a few times and want to have him on 1,000 more times because he's such a great content creator, such a great person. He breaks down the comics on his TikTok, his own YouTube channel, building a great community, and I love the energy he has. I love the shirt he's wearing today. He's repping Invincible. Talking about the one and only Michael from Black Gay Comic Geek. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, how's it going?
Rocking the swag. It's going good, man. It's going good. How you doing today?
I'm good, Elliot. I always appreciate anytime you bring me on the stream. I always call you the Nick Fury of YouTube.
Well, I'll be Cecil today. I'll play Cecil today.
You just beat me to it. I was gonna say, since it's Invincible, I'm gonna call you Cecil. But and anytime you invite me on, I always get excited because I'm like, who am I gonna be on with? Who am I gonna be on with? So now that I see the guest that I'm excited to talk about Invincible. So I'm always excited to be on this channel. So I thank you for always bringing me on.
Oh, man, it's my honor, man. And if Michael, if you want to let the people know where they can find you and what your content's about, man, the stage is yours, my friend.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? I always say this is my apartment. This is my safe haven. So welcome to this part of my safe haven. You can find me anywhere on the internet, Black Gay Comic Geek. I'm mostly focused on YouTube and TikTok. I actually just did a 6-part series on TikTok, which I actually didn't think it was going to be 6 parts, but about authentic and proper queer representation in media, specifically in comics, and my obsession, or not obsession, my frustration with that. And so, you can check those out on TikTok, and then check me out on YouTube. I just did my own review of Invincible, went live yesterday. And so, just follow me and check me out on there. So I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you, Elliot, again for having me on.
No doubt, man. Do yourself a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Check out Michael. All his links are in the bio. The TikToks are fire. The YouTube videos are fire. The conversations he has are incredible. So definitely check them out, guys.
And actually, real quick, I gotta thank you, Elliot, because apparently you got some type of juice or something. Because remember last week when I was having the problems with TikTok, about every time I post a video, they flag it. Well, as soon as I came on this show, I don't know what happened. That's why I'm like, I'm glad to be on again to keep this juice going.
Hey, man, you called me Cecil. I got the satellites. I made some calls, and
literally, I haven't really had any issues since I came on this show. So I'm like, it's definitely because of you. So.
Hey, man, I'm glad to hear, because again, the content is incredible and everyone should check it out. So our next guest here is another person that's making a return on this channel, talking about so much great stuff. The energy, the good vibes, the content is incredible. The community is phenomenal. I love having her on. I love the geekiness. I love the conversation she brings to the table. Talking about the one and only Mama's Geekly. Tessa, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me again.
No doubt. I love having you on. I love the conversations we have. And again, you and Michael are the two panelists I was referring to in regards to the comic book knowledge. So I'm so excited to have you guys on, because we're gonna pick your brain talking about Invincible. Swag.
Go ahead.
Swag is all over the board. But Tessa, how you doing?
Oh, so good. I'm so excited to be on here to talk about this gory, bloody, fantastic show.
Man, this is our therapy session today, Tessa, because there was some family drama. So I said in my review that, as they say, the truth hurt, and the truth hurt Mark in both ways, physically, mentally, emotionally. I mean, the kid got the worst of it. But Tessa, if you want to let people know where they can find you and what your content's about, go right ahead.
Yeah, you can find me everywhere at Mama's Geeky, MAMAS. It's right down there. I know there's a lot of ways to spell Mama, but I'm over on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube mostly. I'm too old for TikTok. I can't figure it out. Sorry, I've tried. It's just not happening. It doesn't go anywhere. Maybe I'll have to get some tips, I guess. I don't know. But I just dropped yesterday my reaction to the finale, and a lot of people commented on, why is she laughing so hard? This is not something you should laugh at. I laugh at, I don't know. I do it as a therapy, I guess. I don't know what it is.
Hey, I have that natural reaction too. Like whenever I'm uncomfortable or something just is like crazy to me, I do kind of chuckle or laugh. And we grew up with like horror films and all that. I'm just sensitized to stuff. But some of the stuff, I mean, literally, I was shocked in a lot of the stuff that we got in this episode. But also, too, didn't you? You got a chance to interview one of the directors of the Marshalls versus Machines over there too, right?
I interviewed the director, the cast, and then just last night I talked to the VFX guy, and he's also, by the way, on Spider-Verse. He was CG on Spider-Verse, and he's VFX on Spider-Verse 2. And I asked him about Spider-Verse 2, and he gave me about this much of it, but it's on there, so check that out.
Check out that interview. And we talk about animation with this show. I mean, Spider-Verse, Sony, Pixar. Yeah. I don't know. It might need to watch your back because Spider-Verse and the Mitchells movie, they're so gorgeous. But Tessa, Michael, I'm so glad to have you guys on. And we got another guest that we're going to bring in here. This gentleman has been on the channel before. I've been on his channel. Love the conversation he has, the topics he brings to the table, the amazing content, the reviews, interviews that he does on his own, the energy, the positivity. And again, this guy is just an incredible content creator. I'm talking about the one and only Brandon from Just My Opinion. What's going on, my friend?
What's up, man? How you doing? What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
Doing good, man. We talked a little bit off screen, got the fresh cut, rocking, representing the South, man. Glad to have you on, my friend.
I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to be here with you guys. I was late to the party with this show, but I'm glad I showed up because it's amazing and I just have so much to talk about. So I'm ready.
It's going to be a good time. Hey, Brandon, if you want to do me a favor, man, let the fine folks at home know where they can find you and what your channel is all about.
Well, yeah, man, I'm B. Avery. You can find me here on social media, Just My Opinion 84 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not on Twitter that much, but I am there. I'm more on Instagram, and I need to get some tips from Elliot because his Instagram, his posts and stories are so well. I need to steal some of his style, so that'll be coming up. But you can also get me mainly on YouTube. Also my website, justmyopinion.net, but mainly on YouTube. I do movie reviews, sometimes spoiler reviews, trailer reactions, entertainment news with like a weekly news roundup show. And, if I'm lucky, every once in a while, I may get an interview here and there. And I just really, just talk about pop culture, entertainment stuff that just I think is cool and, what's currently trending. Also, kind of like you, Tessa, I gave up on TikTok as well. I just can't figure it out. I tried a couple of times and I was like, you know what? This is not for me. I'll try to figure it out later. But yeah, mainly on YouTube, you can find me talking about the latest TV show, entertainment news drop, or latest movie that came out.
Awesome. And also too, Brandon, congrats, my friend, on the 30K. He just crossed 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. Again, all these content creators, Michael, Tessa, Brandon, they have incredible communities, incredible content, and I couldn't be happier to have them on and talk about one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show of 2020. It's early, but it's one of my favorite shows so far this year, and I'm so excited to talk about it. So before we dive into the spoiler discussion, again, this kind of a idea how this conversation is going to go today, guys. We're going to talk about the episode, the finale, kind of break it down. Then we're going to kind of dive deeper into the episodes in regards to the entire season, and then get into theories and favorite characters and all. It's going to be a fun discussion. But before we dive into that, I definitely want to shout out everyone that's joining us live, showing some love. We got some hearts in the chat. We got Ryan. What's going on? They see the cut. Brandon, see the swag. They love the swag, my friend. So we got some awesome people in here. And again, go ahead and leave your comments, your thoughts, your theories, your pros, your cons in the chat, and we'll try to get to them as often as we can. So before we dive into discussion, starting with you, Michael, your anticipation, your knowledge of this before watching the series and after watching it, where does this kind of stack with you in regards to just not only animation, but just, superhero content in general in the genre?
Well, I've heard about the Invincible comic for a long time, but I haven't actually read it just because of me being in the comic book sphere. A lot of people keep telling me like it's like one of the greatest comic book stories of all time, and I need to get on it. I need to get on it. I just like I'm gonna do it. And right when but I didn't. But right when they announced the show, I was like, okay, I'm gonna finally, because I know the compendiums and the comic books are gonna sell like hotcakes. Like right now, I think they're selling like $150 and things like that on like Amazon. So I was like, okay, right before the show comes out, I'm gonna buy the compendiums. I'm gonna start reading at least like the first 12 issues because I don't think the show is gonna go beyond that, and so I can at least get some knowledge of everything that's going on. And so I have a slight reference and an idea of the show. Like I haven't read everything, but like everything that this show is giving me from the comic, it's like I kind of had an idea where it was gonna go, but this show is way different, giving me so much more than what's in the actual comic, and I love it. Like I always say on my own channel, and I even have a shirt that says this: like the things I love in my fantasy are blood, sex, gore, and magic, and this show has all of that. Yeah. And so I'm like, I'm here for all of it, the gore, like the bloodiness. So yeah, and I love it. Like, and I will say overall, like in the beginning, like certain moments of the animation, it looked a little clunky, but as the show is going on, it's gotten better and better. And so, yeah, I'm loving this show. And this finale was hella satisfying, probably more satisfying than Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, but that's a whole nother conversation.
I'm in the same boat with you, Michael. I've heard for years how great it is. And I was just like, I'll get to it. Just like everything else, right? I'll get to it. But after watching this show, I guess I'm still kind of, I don't know if I want to read the comics or if I want to watch the show in its entirety and then go back to the comics. But I've heard the same sentiment, man, that this is one of the greatest comic books ever made. And a lot of people like yourself have said that, man, the show has done one of the best adaptations of, top tier adaptations.
Yeah. So. And usually for me, when a property comes out that's based on a book or a comic book, I usually like to watch the adaptation first. So I'm not comparing it and then go back and read the book or whatever. But I don't know, for this, I feel like it's just a nice companion piece because there's a lot of things that are so different from the show that they're not doing in the comic. And so I like reading them both at the same time, but not the season's done. I'm not waiting for season 2. By the time season 2 comes out, I'm gonna have read all 144 issues. Yeah. So yeah.
Which hopefully, fingers crossed, is not more than a couple years. Hopefully they've had a couple episodes in the can. But tossing to you, Tessa, your knowledge prior to the series, did it meet expectations? Did it exceed? And then also just kind of after watching now, where's this kind of rank for you in regards to the adaptations from comic to books to the small screen in this case?
Yeah, so I had read the comics a while back. I never finished it. I went on for a lot of years, and I think there was a little bit of time where I just had to cut down on my comics. I think it was right after I had my kids. I was like, I don't have the time. So I had to cut back on stuff, and this is one that I still got but never read. So I've got to dig them out. I really want to. I think I read about half of them. So I went into this super excited because I was like, oh, it's going to be bloody. It's going to be gory. The animation's going to be awesome. And then when they started announcing the voice cast, I was like, this feels like perfect. So exciting. And they're doing some like that. The ending of the first episode doesn't happen until issue, I want to say 10 or 11. So I was shocked. I'm like, oh, they're going right for it. And I think that's really allowed him to flesh the story out better. A lot of the characters I feel like are fleshed out better. And I love the comics. I love my comics, but it feels weird to say I like this show more than I like the comics, which is not usually the case.
Rarely here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see where it goes. And I definitely am going to dive back into them. I'm probably going to start back over with issue 1 and read while we wait for season 2. But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, same question for you, Brandon, before we dive into it, man, just kind of your prior knowledge going to the series after watching it. And as far as just I know myself, I haven't read the comics. Do you plan on revisiting the comics or reading them after watching this first season?
I'm not sure if I'll get into the comics, but I'm not opposed to it. But my prior knowledge of the show, I heard nothing about this. I had absolutely no idea what it was. Yeah. And I remember seeing the trailers, for its upcoming release, and I'm just like, okay, that kind of looks a little silly. I don't think I'll check it out or whatever. But I started seeing more and okay, well, that was kind of bloody. Okay, I'm still not going to check it out. And then all of a sudden, Invincible 1 through 3 reviews have been are released right now. And then I start seeing reviews and reactions of people. I'm like, okay, apparently this is a thing now or whatever. Like episode 4 and 5 come out and everybody's like screaming like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's the best thing ever. And I'm just like, whoa, clearly I've been living under a rock. I have no idea what this is. Let me check it out. And then by the time I ended that first episode, I was hooked. Like, oh my gosh, this is like the best thing on TV right now. So I had no idea what this show was, but like now
That's
I
the
can
best
say,
feeling too, dude. That is the best.
I'm like the biggest fan. I don't want to jump too far ahead. I love the way it ended, and I can't wait for more. Yeah. So this was just like a nice surprise Christmas gift out of nowhere, and I love it. I love it.
Same, going back to like I said with earlier, I hadn't read the comics. I've heard of the comics. Like Michael said, it was one of the greatest. I've always heard that. And then for years, I heard that they want to make it into a show. And they actually, we'll talk about that. I don't know how the hell you make this a live action with all the stuff that, especially from this finale. But I mean, we got The Boys is pretty violent, and Walking Dead in its heyday was pretty violent. So we'll see. But I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna give this show a chance. And boy, I'm so glad I did that. Like Tessa said, I mean, when I saw that cast, Stephen Yin, J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh, Zazie Beetz, Mahershala Ali, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I can't imagine who they're going to bring in as far as season 2 with some other characters that we get introduced to at the back half of this episode, and kind of some other characters who kind of sprinkled in the first season. So, yeah, this is the biggest surprise hit for me so far, and I'm glad I took the chance on it because it was a pretty satisfying ending, which brings us into the main discussion, which is episode 8, season finale of season 1, Where I Really Come From. Listen, I was so excited. I think this was the penultimate episode. Episode 7 was like perfect to set up this finale. Everything that we got with Invincible, learning about seeing his dad killing an immortal last week, and obviously just seeing Nolan just go through the Cecil's boot camp of just like trying to distract him, just throwing it off like these flies and just setting everything up. And here we are talking about the finale. As we kind of open up this episode here, I have a brief synopsis for you guys, and I love the synopsis because it really does set the tone for what we can expect in this episode in regards to Mark having living up to his name and going against something and stopping something that was an unforceable stop, which is his dad. Nolan, listen, Michael, when we start this episode off, man, we get the scenes, we see the blood on the hands of Nolan. I mean, my man Mark is just in shock. He doesn't know what to say. He's kind of not delusional, but he's kind of like cutting in and out. He's just like, what is going on? You know, at one point, he thinks his dad is under control by a supervillain. Again, this is his dad. And I love to, I don't know if you guys noticed in watching the episode, how many times there were shots like this that's on the screen now where he was looking up to his dad. All the shots were kind of angle in the sense of he's still looking up to his dad, still learning from his dad, and kind of he still, no matter what he hears from him, is still his dad at the end of the day. Even we'll get, not to jump ahead, but the moment where he literally beats the hell out of Mark, he still says, I have you, dad. So it just kind of shows how important he is to his life. So here's a point here where he's saying, you know, who's controlling you? What's going on? And Nolan just tells him, no, it's me, son. And the truth comes out. He tells him about his whole origin stories, being from Viltrum, which is true, and the Viltrumites, and we learn a little bit more about their origins, that they're not necessarily a good people, but they are kind of live by the mindset of the strongest survive. We learned they took it out half of their population, very Thanos-y, and they're stretching out their resources. So their plan is to go to these individual planets and break and weaken them from within. We learned that Nolan was given the planet Earth. We see him come down, get his relationship with Debbie, and he's on his mission. So kicking it to you first, Michael, when we learn all of this incredible backstory, the truth per se about Nolan, it really comes from. Your thoughts on this before we get into that epic fight?
Whew, this episode, like, even though I because I read the comic, and so even though I knew what was gonna happen and the final through line and everything that was gonna happen in this episode was so much more brutal than what I saw in the comic. And then also, you know, the vocal performance from Stephen Yeun and J.K. Simmons, like, I felt like this was their best performance in the entire series. Like, even the moment where Nolan calls his wife Debbie. He was like, "Yeah, I love her, but I love her like a pet." I was
we'll
like,
get to that.
yeah, I was like, damn, like you killing me. And this whole episode, like I felt bad for Mark the whole time. I'm just looking at trying to see if I could see the nuances and react if they animate it in terms of like his reactions. And I think they did a good job. Granted, he had his face covered, but like the tears that came down his face and just the vocal performance, like I loved it. And a lot of people made this analogy because they're trying to say like Omni-Man is the Superman of this world. I think this episode kind of shows, like, if you guys are Dragon Ball Z fans, like the Viltrumites are basically like Saiyans in the sense of like the warrior races and going and conquering other planets and things like that. So yeah, it just goes to show like he's basically like Raditz, like, you know, the connection between Goku and Raditz. So that's really what this reminded me of. And I loved seeing this opening moment. And I also like to see like that because this is also different in the comic where why am I drawing a blank? Mark, there we go. He instantly started like attacking him because he thought that he was being possessed, and that's something that, you know, is typical superhero fanfare, but that didn't happen in the comic. So I just like all the differences that they have in the show. So
couldn't agree with you more, man, in regards to those voice performances by Steven Yeun and J.K. Simmons. You felt the pain from Mark, and we've been on this journey for the last 7 weeks, and just seeing that point again, just that's his dad. That's all he sees. Yeah, he's Omni-Man. He saved the world 1,000 times, but he's also the guy that, you know, helped him on his first steps, his baseball game, giving him life lessons and all that stuff. And now he learns the truth about him. So Tessa, when you find out about, again, I know you've read the comics, but just seeing how it played out in the show, with this big reveal, just your thoughts on this opening sequence here of the truth being told.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree with Michael more that it felt like they took what was in the comics and just raised it to the next level with everything that they did. Because it's one thing to read it, but it's another thing to like see it play out. And they added those little things that just made it so good. And it's those performances, those vocal performances. I'm telling you, these two have been killing it all. I mean, everyone has all season, but this just, you know, like when he attacks him, like, oh, my dad, what are you doing? And the tears and it's just so good. And I loved it. And I felt so bad for Mark. And I knew this part was coming. And I was like, I assumed it was going to be in the finale. I figured they're sticking this in season 1. I thought it was going to be like the very, very end of the episode. And then that would be it. So I'm glad they made it at the beginning so they could give us more in this episode. But it was just, even anticipating it and knowing how it was going to happen, my heart broke so much more for Mark, even though I knew I was prepared, and it still destroyed me.
Yes.
So, yeah. That's the best way to put it.
Is the emotional gratification and the payoffs. It all came down to that moment. Because again, even for someone that didn't read the comics, the trajectory of the show, you knew that they were going to butt head. I mean, eventually kind of come to that head, you know, Omni-Man versus Invincible. But like you guys said, just seeing it and how it was executed was just so well done. Tossing to you, Brandon, this reveal here, like me, not knowing these comics, I'm thinking in my first head, oh, we think Nolan's bad. Well, I would imagine some other Viltrums are going to have no filter. They don't have no connections to Earth. So when they get the news that he didn't, you know, we'll get to that obviously, but I'm like, oh, there's a whole army of Nolans, which gets me scared for Mark. He's going to have to learn how to fight, man. He's going to have some Jedi training in the next coming seasons. But your take on this reveal and learning more about Viltrum, killing off half of their population, and they're putting these little spies all over the different planets because they just want to dominate. They want to take over. They want to be, you know, the Dothraki of sorts and just be the most dominant species out there. But your thought on this opening here, man?
Yeah, man, you say he's bad. I'm like, bro, that's like an understatement. He is truly evil incarnate. This is like Satan's daddy. You know, like I'm like, it's just too cold-blooded. Like, first of all, the way the episode started, when it had the shot of the grass and showed the blood raining down from the water, I love that right there. Yep. And then the camera just pans up and it's like, doo-dum. I'm just like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. Because I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen, you know? And so I love Mark's reaction immediately. He's just like, what the hell? My dad has to be possessed or something. Kind of like how the Guardians were in episode 1. Right. And the thing is, like, you know, I liked Omni-Man's reaction at first, like, Mark, no, it's me. But he just snapped so quick, like, oh, you're not going to be on my side? Well, screw you, and knocks him, you know, across the landscape. I'm like, bro, this is your son. Like, what do you expect him to do? Like, he's just 2 seconds ago, y'all are trying to fight this big-ass beast with tentacles, and he's, like, saving your life. And then, like, 10 seconds later, he finds out that you're, like, a space Nazi. Like, I mean, what do you expect him to do? Like, no one.
Right.
Sure, Dad, let me and just enslave my friends. But he just doesn't care, man. No feelings, no emotion. It was incredible, and like the revelation of the Viltrumites. I love that. Like the flashback of their little civil war and like them chopping each other down like one by one, and they look unstoppable. They look powerful.
Right.
It doesn't look like, I mean, they've already conquered thousands of planets. Like this is crazy. And in the middle of the episode, I was like, where's this gonna go? Where's it gonna end? But now the way it ended, especially, and I won't jump too far ahead. It seems like the sky's the limits, and I don't know. I know you guys do, but anyway, I love the intro. I love Mark's reaction, and I feel sorry for him. Yeah. But Omni-Man is cold, man. He's cold.
Cold-blooded. Yeah, I mean, I saw a meme with the different, iconic dads, whether it be obviously Darth Vader and cutting off Luke's hand. That ain't got nothing on what Mark went through in this episode. We got Jack Torrance and The Shining and all that. No, they don't have nothing on this dad. And it's so crazy to just thinking of. A lot of people compare this to the fighting sequences to Man of Steel, and just thinking of like how Zod was and how he was so about kryptonite and he would do whatever it takes to care for his people. So it's so interesting to see this kind of inner battle that we see Nolan go through in this episode regarding the race, my people, my mission, accomplishing the mission, but the family he's grown and his kid, and that one line where he says, I'll just make another family again. It was just some lines that just cut so deep. How can you say this? But
and it's crazy. I'm like, it's crazy to me how Homelander is a better father than fucking Omni-Man at this point.
Wow.
Like,
Brandon, I'm telling you, when you get a chance to watch The Boys, man, you're gonna see a lot of comparisons of like Omni-Man and Homelander. And
I'm like, if I had to choose, granted they both terrible, but like if I had to choose, I'll definitely choose Homelander over Omni-Man.
100%. He was at least being somewhat nice.
Do we know when season 3 is coming back?
Of The Boys?
The Boys. Season 3.
Probably next year. Would you guys say next year?
Probably next year.
Yeah, probably next year.
Yeah, because I can't even remember, when was that? Last September is when we got season 2, and I think they're still currently shooting season 3, which is supposed to be bloodier and even crazier. So I would imagine probbe next year. So you got time, Brandon. Definitely, you won't be disappointed, man.
But I feel like they were watching Invincible. It was like, nah, we need to step our game up.
Reshoots, we gotta fix this.
Which gives me, and this completely different side note, which gets me just so excited for the Amazon Lord of the Rings and all the efforts they're putting into their shows. Look, Amazon, Netflix, Disney doing their thing, but Amazon's right on their coattails, man, especially with content like this. But, moving on to the point that you guys actually kind of brought up regarding Michael bringing up his tears coming through, seeing the emotions of hearing all this. He tells him, and this is the big moment where it's just like, I don't care, Dad. He tells him, our blood is so pure that we can live for thousands of years. So, your little Amber girlfriend, your best friend, William, hell, your mom, they're not going to matter. By the time you're 30, they're going to be long gone. And I think someone already alluded to it. The line that just got me, I was drinking some water. I probably spit it out when he told his own son that his mom's, I love your mom, but she's more like a pet to me. So before we move on to the rest of that discussion, I just want to know, Michael, when you heard that, and by the way, was this in the comics? Was that a line from the comics? Was that something new for the show? But when you heard that line, was it just me, or just like, damn, Mark, Nolan, you had no filter, man?
I'm not, from what I remember, I don't think he said that specifically. He just said, I don't love your mother. It was all a lie. But like, I feel like this was more brutal, because like, damn, like, this what you really think of humanity? And then, of course, like the acting on top of that, because you read it in your own head and get your own interpretation for it, as opposed to J.K. Simmons. And I was just like, damn, he really basically just called a dog. Like, yeah. So I'm just that I felt bad for Debbie, because the fact that she had to hear it, because that's also different in the con. Like, she didn't know until she found, like, everybody, the whole world found out, but she actually heard it in the show. So it's just like, damn. Like, I feel like Martin, damn, Tina.
He hit him low. Tessa, when you heard that line again, I do love your mother, but more like a pet. That to me, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's horrible. And again, you feel bad because she's listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I would be broken. It does take her, there's like a little later than they show her reaction and her crying, but I would have been out right then. I would have been, that's horrible. And to just, it feels like, he's trying to really push Mark and get these emotions out of him. And that's why he continues later on, he'll be like, why are you making me do this? Right. But like, that was low. That was like, didn't need to go that far. That was awful.
Brandon, my friend, when you heard this man spit those lines, your thoughts on, Debbie and that moment, immediately divorce, which we'll talk about that later, I hope. And again, I know this might be in the comics, but Debbie and Nolan, when they see each other again, after she hears this, like, what do you do when you're Debbie? But your take on that line and just that buildup.
Well, there's no coming back from this, but I been passed out myself when I heard it. I'm just like, what? My jaw hit the floor. Like, seriously. I mean, it was down there too. He just didn't care. Like, I can't, just in any entertainment, I cannot remember any character being as cold as Nolan was in this episode. Like live action, comic book, whatever. Like, this was just crazy. But it sucks that she had to hear that. There's no coming back. There's no forgiveness. The relationship is over, unfortunately. Like Cecily was saying, we got to see her, her reaction later on. It was sad. It was sad. But yeah, it blew my mind. So poor Debbie, poor Mark.
Ah, man. I mean, Nolan, like you guys say, he was just he was relentless in this episode. And speaking of relentless, we move forward with the episode where, we get father versus son, we get Nolan versus Mark, and we get Invincible versus Omni-Man. When he tells him, I don't give a damn about these people I've never met. I've never been to Viltrum. I don't know these people. I only know what Earth. I know my mom. I know you. I know my friends. I only know that. So I don't care. He gets squared up like, hey, this is what it's going to have to take. And listen, Nolan, I love me a good villain that thinks they're the heroes of the story. When he says, you know what, son, you're not going to interfere with these plans. And to say this is a fight is an understatement because it wasn't a fight. It was pretty much one-sided the entire time. It was literally, different comments out there. It was a father literally putting his hands, this is like child abuse to the umpteenth level this moment here. Yeah. He's tossing a man like a rag doll from left and right. There's no hope for Mark. And also, this is in a grander scheme that we'll talk a little bit about the season earlier. I love that the show didn't make Mark like Invincible episode 1. He struggled the entire season. Beast, got the Beast taking him down. Everyone's taking him down left and right. He's going to learn from this, which is going to make when he does become Invincible and that ultimate hero is going to be such a great payoff. But again, you guys mentioned it, Debbie hears the news, which was just, heartbreaking. But at the same time, she's seeing her son getting the hands laid on him by his dad. We got the new Guardians seeing what's going on. We see Rudy telling them that we're going to have to sit on our hands for right now, but if Mark's gonna have to survive this, he's out. By the way, I love the title cards, the bloodier they got, and the way they kind of introduced those cards were so incredible. He's gonna have to be invincible, ladies and gentlemen. So the fight, just not quick play by play. Cecil continuing on with his distractions, bringing on these Air Force guys. One of the guys, I love this moment that Mark's still trying to be a hero, saves the guy. And Nolan was just savage. He was a savage in this episode. He literally rips the man's face off, tears his face off right in front of Mark. That's one of many deaths that we see in this episode. We see Nolan just go complete on the other side, punches my man to Chicago, and we see even more destruction. So tossing it to you again, Michael, this moment of son versus dad and Omni-Man just really laying into his son in this fight sequence here.
Man, oh man, this shit was so brutal. And this is the thing I love about the show, again, comparing it, the show compared to the comic, is a lot of these moments in the show are far more extended and far more graphic than they were in the comic. Like even the fight between Omni-Man and the Guardians of the Globe, that was like the last half of that episode. But in the comic, it was just like 2 panels, boom, 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 it's over.
Oh wow!
I don't even think they fought back. Did they?
No, they didn't really fight back. They didn't know. It was just like boom, they're dead. End of the comic.
Wow.
And And this same kind of the same thing with this. Like this happened in I believe like issue 12 of the comic, and it was like it lasted for a little bit, but it didn't last that long. He just beat basically. I mean, kind of like this. Like Mark got the cranberry juice knocked out of him. Like. And I was like, I get eventually he's going to become the hero like his father or not like his father. But I'm like, for now, he needs to change like this name. He needs to change his name because it's false advertising.
Right.
He gets his ass beat in like every episode, even by like smaller threats like the alien invasion that came, the robots that were in the last episode. And then now you're fighting his father in Omni-Man, the most powerful being on the planet. You're like, what the fuck is like, Mark? What the fuck are you even? What are you gonna do? You get beat up every episode. Like, honestly, I was like, if anybody could probably take out Omni-Man, it should have been Adam Eve. Like, she's the only one that can literally manipulate molecules. Like, she could probably turn him into a toad or some shit, almost like a Scarlet Witch Wanda type of way. But I don't know. But yeah, this fight, like, he didn't hold back. Like Omni-Man in the show is way more cold. You're as cold as ice. Way more cold-blooded in the show than he is in the in the comic. You could tell he was holding back. But in this, he punched the shit out of him. Like I said, he knocked cranberry juice out of Mark. Like there was no holding back. He punched him so hard it was causing hurricanes and shit. I was like, damn. Like I felt it's like it's almost like I don't know if you guys watch My Hero Academia where the saying is like go beyond plus ultra. That's how Omni-Man went in the fight. He went beyond plus like he punched it. I was just like, damn.
He didn't hold back, man. And that's so cool to hear from a comic book reader that the show kind of expands upon things. Sometimes when shows, and not to bring up Game of Thrones, when the show creators kind of ventured off from the book and they might not have a good grip on the IP. It sounds like Robert Kirkman worked with the writers to really kind of expand upon things and really made it better, or maybe not necessarily better because some people, might like the comics more. But it sounds like to me, from what you just said, Michael, that they expanded upon and let things breathe more. And again, a comic versus a TV show, you have a little bit more flexibilities to bringing things to life. So Tessa,
I was like, I was gonna say one last thing. I was
shoot for it, man.
I was a little mad a little bit when Omni-Man killed and first of all, fuck Cecil for sending those fighter pilots to die.
Yeah, like,
you knew they couldn't do anything. You knew they couldn't do anything, and you just sent them to their deaths. But then the fact that you had the one black pilot that Omni-Man killed, but the white girl, she got away. I was like, oh, come on. But that, like, the casualties in this episode, again, not like the comic. It was like, damn, there was a lot of casualties in this episode.
Men, women, children, kids, dogs, cats, fish, you name it. No, if you were in the way, you were getting done. Tessa, your take on this first round of Daddy laying his hands on his son.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was crazy. I love how, again, like Michael said, to echo it, it's such an extended version of what we got, which is what I love that this show does. But man, this was just brutal. Like it felt 1,000 times more brutal than I expected it to be. And it kept going and it kept going. And I was like, this is going to be the whole episode. Like he's just not even holding back. He didn't care. He's like, all right, what did he say? 17 years? I'll just make another one. I'm like, oh my gosh. He's just saying this right to his kid. It was insane. It was bloody. It was disgusting. And I loved it. But yeah, I was also like, why are they sending planes with actual fighter pilots? Like, why don't they just send drones? Like he knew, he even goes, it's just a distraction to keep him busy. And maybe Mark will think of something. There's people in there. I don't know. The casualties were crazy. Again, I know we're going to talk about it later, but then it gets even, you think this is crazy, and then it just...
All aboard?
Yeah, exactly.
Brandon, your take on, Nolan not holding back, punching his son miles into Chicago. We're going to get into some casualties here that take place in Chicago, but just up until that point, he says to his son, why are you working so hard to save these puny humans, as he, crushes that pilot's head, and just seeing that from like, what, Dad, what are you doing? Your take on this first half of the fight.
Well, first, I love that he squared off on his daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was dope to hear. I love that. I love his reaction to it. I was like, Mark, I'm proud of you.
Yep.
He got his ass whooped, unfortunately, but at least he tried.
Right.
It was admirable, So that's dope right there. What I also love was, and it was a surprise, when Cecil sent in the jets, I like that, like Tessa was just saying, she was like, well, what can they do? He was like, I don't know, nothing. Maybe give Mark enough time to think of something. I was like, okay, that's smart. I would have just shot my missiles and tried to just die, get the hell out of there. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have tried to come back for a round two. But I was like, okay, at least he has some strategy. Because Mark does need some help because he's getting strangled right now, and I liked it. I mean, just the little stuff, the homing missiles, tracking the Nolan as he's flying around and he's having to dodge it. He was like moving around like they can actually like hurt him, so it was kind of tense for me. But when the black pilot like ejected and Mark was saving him, first of all, at this point, I was like, oh, there's no way that Invincible can win, Mark can win, but this is some of the best training in the universe, you know what I'm saying? So that was cool right there. But they spent so much time on him trying to save the black dude, and it was so meaningful and just such an important moment for Mark. Mm-hmm. But Omni Man just comes and just
takes it away
like a little fly, like it's nothing, and just smushes his head. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like. There's no like Mark is screwed. Like his mental stability is gone. Like I'm surprised he's still not in a coma right now. And it like he was saying, he was like, why? It was something like why are you why are you giving so much effort? Their lives are worthless. I did kind of notice. I was like, oh, the black guy died. But the white woman got away. And it was something else to happen right after that. I forgot, but. Overall, I was like, it was nice. I liked it, and I was just saying to myself, this is something like the best training that Mark could ever get in his life. So that was.
He needs it clearly.
Very nice. Yeah.
He does. It's a great point you bring up too, Brandon, regarding just that win for Mark. Right, he's saving that guy, the pilot, from his demise, which brings us back to earlier this season when Mark was trying to save the alien invasion, and he was unfortunately wasn't able to save some people. He was just like, this is part of the job, and. His father, he was able to save someone for, not for the first time in the show, but it meant something to him. But his dad just takes it away from him and just continuously takes it away these saves. Because as we go through the rest of this fight, as they land in Chicago, where I'm from, we see the destruction take place. Mark is trying to, again, be the hero that he is meant to be. He's trying to save this mother and daughter in this building that's crushed down. He thinks he saves them. The building crushes on him. He holds the arm and the arm's missing. Again, Nolan's not holding back. He even says something else to him. I think he even brings up Debbie yet again and says that your mother is worthless in the grand scheme of things, which kind of sets off Mark. And for a second there, literally for a second, he got some blows in on his dad.
Yeah.
But now we got to go full savage mode here in a bit, ladies and gentlemen. So as Mark kind of gets some blows in, his dad teaches him a lesson, I guess he says. So they go down to the subway. And I'm thinking, like, I don't know, what is he just like, is the train going to hurt Mark? Like, what is he? I didn't even put two and two together that there's people on the train. And I didn't put the full scene on here because it's pretty graphic, but you all have seen the episode. I mean, he literally uses him as a human shield and just literally goes through the train, blood, guts, women, children, everyone on that train was murdered, just completely taken out. Wow. I mean... Tossing it to you, my friend, Michael, your thoughts on this train scene. Again, I'll ask, is this something that was from the comics? Is this something brand new to the show?
No.
And where was your head at when you saw this moment?
Again, this episode was so much more brutal. And part of me kind of feels bad because I know a lot of people were watching this episode like, oh, my heart. But me, the more blood and guts and gore and everything, like I felt almost like Palpatine at the end of, I was just like, unlimited power. I'm like, I'm loving all of it because I'm here for all the blood and gore. Like, so like every time it just continued and I felt, it just made me feel more bad for Mark because I'm just like, just having him watch. And then even during that scene where he's like trying to block all of the blood and everything going on. Like I kind of felt that I was like, damn, like he can't do nothing. And it was fucking crazy. And I love the way it was. I love the way it was animated, just seeing like the train coming towards him and then everybody exploded and the music playing on top of that. I was just like, yeah, like, this is brutal. I was like, what is he going to do? I don't understand like how he's going to come out of this. Oh, but in terms of like the animation, it was great. I loved it. So, I had a fun time though watching that scene. I know some people were just like, oh, but
it's like that time when a fatherly figure, your mom, your older brother, your older sister, they try to teach you how to swim, and they're just like, you need to just go in the deep end and learn how to swim. This is my man Nolan just putting his son, just showing you how like You can't beat me. And every time you try, I'm going to take another human. I'm going to take this to show you that this is what we do. This is what our nature is. Tessa, the train scene, we talked about a little bit off camera, but I had mentioned if this was Train to Busan, the movie would have been over in 2 seconds because, I mean, Nolan would have just took out all the zombies with his son as a shield. I mean, this is crazy. This is a crazy scene.
It was crazy. I was like dying laughing. I got a lot of people commenting on my thing like, what is wrong with you? You should be staring in shock and you're just laughing. I couldn't help it. And then he's moving his arms and he's making it so much worse because he's hitting all the other people. They're just exploding as they hit him. It was so crazy. And I was like, oh, it's still going. Oh, it's still going. He went through that whole train. That was, it was insane. And Mark is just getting bloodier and bloodier and bloodier and bloodier. And then when he's standing there and he's covered in blood, oh my gosh. It was crazy. It was insane. Awesome.
And this comment is so cool. So true. It's the opposite of the Spider-Man scene. That is so true. Oh man. Brandon, my friend, your take on this moment, were you literally on the floor just of like the savage nature of what Nolan's doing at this point?
Yes, sir, I was. But a little bit before that, this is where I started to get frustrated with Mark. Because when he knocked him into next week through all those buildings and hit the ground and killed everybody, even before the building fell, he saw that death and destruction. And I'm just like, wow, and his dad came over there and he made the comment to his mom. And that's where Mark got those licks in. And I was like, cool. But like, first, when the building fell, right before the building fell, I was frustrated with the people. I was like, why are y'all standing there?
Yeah, exactly. I felt the same way.
Man, like, watch the building fall on you. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? So that was crazy to me. But it breaks my heart, man, that, he ran up, tried to stop it, all the glass fell. I thought we was going to see the shards like stabbing people or something. So
that was probably the other cut of it. They were like, a little bit too much blood.
I'm glad they left that out. But, when he held the lady and then the building fell and it was just like her arm there, I'm just like, Mark, okay, you tried, bro. You gave your best effort. You need to stop, okay? Yeah. You need to don't be defiant no more. Just say, okay, daddy, you win. I'll join you.
I'll bend the knee.
You can spray him later, okay? You can, when he sleep, you can sneak away or something and spill the beans. But clearly, you're not going to win this. So I was like, stand down. And he wouldn't. He kept trying to fight. I'm just like, and then the train thing happened. And I'm like, okay, this is this. And like, I almost started to cry because my heart was broken. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop with the hands. And it was too much. Nolan is seriously Satan's daddy. There's
he's too far gone. He's
too far gone. Yeah. But I mean, it was great. It was crazy, but at the same time, I was getting frustrated with Mark because I was like, stop fighting. You're making it worse. You have to take this L and regroup and come back another way because you're just, people are dying right now, dude, and you just need to chill out, So, but he's 17 years old, and
man, still got a lot to learn.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
It was insane.
And I know Nolan like is faster and stronger than Mark, obviously, but I was just like, come on, Mark. Like, at no point did you try to like take the battle away from all these people. Like, try to fly away and go to like some island or something.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and about that, like when prior to that, when Cecil sent the pilots to distract Nolan Omni-Man, I was thinking that he was going to try to separate them so he can teleport to Mark, put the bracelet on him, and get him to teleport back to the base. That's what I was thinking that was going to happen. But when he got knocked into Chicago, I guess there wasn't a possibility anymore. But I was thinking and hoping that was going to happen.
What I thought was going to happen, I'm glad it didn't happen, and maybe it happens in future seasons. Omni-Man is aware of the location of Cecil and the agency, right? He knows where that location is, right? Or
yes.
is he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
I was thinking this whole episode that he was going to go there and kill Debbie right in front of Mark's face. That's what I was thinking was going to be the whole thing. Like, I'm going to teach you this lesson. And I thought when he was going underwater that he was going to go to the base and kill his mom right in front of him. It was like, pick your mom or pick this planet. And who knows, maybe that's something in future seasons to look ahead of. But that's what I was thinking the whole time. He's going to kill his mom right in front of him. But luckily, more dead because she's the best. But as we kind of get more of this kind of destruction, again, Mark at this point is just like, I don't know what to do as he tries again. Like Brandon said, you got to love the fight in him, man. He's not giving up, but at this point, it's just like it's pointless. You know, his dad looks at him. I mean, we talked about anime earlier. The point when literally he punches Mark so hard, he ricochets off the concrete, flies in the air, holds him again. This is his dad. You know, he's really showing how much of in command he is. Again, another shot of him looking up to his father as he tells him at this point, I won't spend another second on this earth. I will literally burn it down to the ground if I have to spend another second with these animals on earth. As you know, we see him saying that again, his father teaching his son again. This shot here was like
that face,
straight crazy mode, ready to go and kill his son. Again, at this point, Nolan is beyond saving. We get this kind of quieter moment with the Guardians as Rudy says, you know, guys, we have to stay here. We got to stick to the mission. And I like this moment here with him and Monster Girl. I'm really excited to explore their relationship in future seasons and their whole dynamic. But she says, hey, you're no longer a robot. You know, you got to be on the human side and kind of help these humans out as we see them do later in the episode. But as we kind of get more of this father-son conversation, Nolan at this point, again, is already just like the lessons. They go through the cruise, which kills people. He takes them to the mountains, which kills people. And now they're on the mountain having this conversation. And when I say this was so perfectly placed, this flashback here to me, stole my heart. It ripped my heart out in this moment. Seeing Nolan being the ultimate warrior as he is, he's watching his son doing these stupid human things in his eyes. He can hit home runs all day. He can run faster to all these humans. Why is he struggling? As he kind of gets a life lesson from his wife, Debbie. This is what makes you humans. It's not only the pros, it's the failures. It's the learning from your failures. It's all that stuff that makes him human and which makes him love his son. I love that shot when he sees his son with his missing teeth. Cut back to this moment here as he tells him, in 500 years, what does this matter? You won't have anyone. And then Mark says, well, I'm going to have you, Dad, which was just a really emotional moment there. And he holds back. He stops, guys. He finally stops. He got to his dad. We see him go off into space with a little tear. And we'll talk about where we think Nolan has headed next, but just kind of recapping that first half of the episode with these final few moments, starting with you, Michael, from the aftermath of the train to the going to the ship, going to the mountain, beating his son's face in. They have the flashback. Off to space Nolan goes.
Yeah, like I feel like at this point, and I don't know what they're going to do because, like I said, I haven't gotten to this point yet. But we know now that Omni-Man is left, we're definitely going to see more of him. But I'm hoping they don't pull a John Walker, and the moment we see him again, he's instantly redeemed. Because I'm like, there's no coming back from this. But I do like that the thing that they did show is once they got to the flashback, it did kind of show, the saying, "Doth the lady protest too much?" Like all the talk about. I feel like I do love your mother, but she's nothing but a pet to me. I hate this planet and everything like that. But then you get to the flashback and him actually softening up and becoming more, quote, human. I do kind of feel like, yeah, Omni-Man does kind of feel like he doesn't want to do what he's ended up doing. Because then you jump to, I think it was like the second episode or so, where he kind of was like, I actually kind of regret that Mark got his powers. And I kind of feel like, but for the fact that Mark got his powers, I don't think he would have did what he did to the Guardians of the Globe. Because what changed? Why was it all of a sudden now he's going to attack the Guardians of the Globe after all these years? Mm-hmm. Mark got his powers, but he was living a happy life. He loved, and I could tell, like he kind of does. He does actually love Debbie more than a pet. Because even when the moment that she confronted him and was like, "You killed the Guardians of the Globe, fuck you, Nolan." As soon as she said "fuck you," like he saw his eyes water.
Could have killed her right then.
Yeah, he could have killed her right then and there, but he didn't. Mm-hmm. So I like. Great. Again, I say he can't be redeemed. At least I feel like he can't be redeemed. But I still liked that they did humanize him a little bit, which is why he did leave the planet and why he didn't take that final blow against his son. So I did like that moment. But yeah, like I was with Rudy at that point where he was like, no, we need to stay in the 8 leg. Like,
You're not seeing what he's doing.
There's literally still the blood on what he did with the last Guardians of the Glow. I'm not leaving this motherfucking HQ.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the whole Monster Girl and Rudy relationship, I don't know, it's weird to me. Like,
I'm really interested to see what they do with that relationship,
especially with Rexplode. Like, this is like he literally cloned you without your permission.
Yeah.
Like you now got this son basically walking around.
right?
So yeah, that whole thing is weird to me. So I'm curious to see what more. And then I'm also wondering, like, since he did clone Rexplode, he has this literally a genetic makeup in him. Does that mean he also has Rexplode's power?
I was
like,
wondering that too.
Yeah, because I'm wondering like how does powers work in this world? So
yeah.
Season 2, my friend.
Yeah, season 2.
It was just creepy how he's like, I did this because like she looks at you like that. Like that's so creepy.
Yeah.
I know.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. At first, I was like, "Is he a villain? He's got to be a villain."
I was thinking that whole his whole intentions, but
the fact that he came clean so easily, I was like, okay, I don't think if he was a villain, I don't think he would have divulged everything that he was thinking. So I think he's just, I think because he's a robot, he's just out of touch.
Right. 100%, man. And Tessa, tossing it to you regarding not only the flashback, but seeing Nolan hold back and him going off to space. I would imagine that the Viltrumites aren't going to be too happy with him with this mission now being not accomplished.
Yeah, I think when they find out, they aren't going to be too thrilled for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that flashback, it made me cry watching it. Like that part. And then especially when he's like, Dad, I'd have you. It's like, dude, what is wrong with you? He just kicked your ass like constantly over and over and over and over. He said the stuff about your mom and he's still like, Dad, like he's still trying to break through to his dad. He still basically loves his dad, which is, I don't know, it's crazy. But I loved that whole scene. I loved how that finally made him stop, and he falls next to him in that shot of the two of them next to each other. I loved that. Yeah. And then he just gets up and goes. He's like mad at himself for not killing his son, which is crazy. I wish I would have killed him. And he just takes off. But I absolutely loved how they brought back and kind of showed where he softens up, because he's standing there. I could just watch this from the sky. Why am I standing here? And then, that conversation with Debbie, and he gets excited when he gets the home run and he comes over. So, and picking him up, looking at him. And I thought I liked that because you talk about with Mark looking up to his dad, that part where he's holding him up and he's looking up to Mark. I really liked that. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like that was kind of powerful. And then, I don't know. I know a little bit more, so I don't want to say too much. So I'll stop.
Interesting. and even the callback in this show with them playing catch with each other when he's learning his powers, that connection that they have with baseball. That's something that, maybe that was the moment where Nolan forgot about the mission for however many years. This is the mission. It's to raise my son and be a husband and all that. But, it goes back to, what the mission is, some odd years later. But tossing it to you, Brandon, your take on that, really good flashback, as well as just the, Nolan finally, there's a trigger for him. He has a safe word, which is, I have you, Dad.
I'm sorry. Now somebody threw me off in the comment section, but I do like the one where he said, this reminds me of Goku not losing his memory and beating up Gohan, like a Dragon Ball Z reference. I thought that I like that comment. I forgot who named it. But I also like I like the line of dialogue in the show where it was like a reddish orange sky, and he was punching him around, and he was like, I will burn this planet to the ground before I spend another minute living amongst you animals. I don't know. I like that delivery right there, and it just was heartbreaking when he was just beating him, into the mountain. Like that, and also just like the flashback scene, like you said, that was heartwarming too. I didn't know what was going to be the outcome of that, but I thought Mark was going to die. I didn't know how this was going to end, but when he laid over on the side, and just started looking like, why did you make me do this? I was just like, oh my God, thank goodness, he's not gonna smash his dad's his son's head in, and he flew off. And so I like that right there. It broke my heart at the very beginning of the episode. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But while all this was going down right here, I was really sad. I was really breathing heavy, just not knowing what to think of it, man, because that's just, like I said, this is like the coldest turn I've ever seen you know, in any type of entertainment, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it kind of broke my heart. So
it was
he knocked a man's teeth out. Like he
teeth. And I immediately thought, and I love too, that this is like a Walking Dead alumni cast. I immediately went to, I mean, obviously we have Stephen Yin who voiced Mark and also played Glenn in The Walking Dead. And when he was coughing up the blood, it just reminded me of Maggie, I'm going to find you. When he get his, I don't want to spoil anything for those that haven't seen The Walking Dead with Negan and Lucille, but it reminded me of that moment a lot. And luckily it turned out on the other side.
Yeah, like hearing the blood in his when he was trying to talk. Like I was just like, damn.
You hear his lungs, he's breathing, you hear the gurgling. Oh,
it was rough. But you know, as we kind of wrap up the first half, we go into the second half of the episode, which ties into the aftermath, and we see, you know, the defense team come in. We see Debbie being I love Debbie so much. She's such a great mom. She holds it together. It reminded me of Pepper Potts telling Tony, you can sleep now once he goes away, he dies. You know, she lets it all out. And we see that she's just being there for her son. I'm so proud of you. But then she goes out in the hallway and lets all her emotions out because, again, she not only just learned about her husband's truth, she just saw her son almost get killed right in front of her. So she's got a lot on her shoulders right now. As Cecil tells her, and by the whole season, again, not being a comic book reader, I was thinking that Cecil has like some agenda. I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know. Some secret, evil, villainous stuff that he might want to do. I don't know. He's a very complex. I love Cecil. But I was just always thinking that he never had the good intentions for Debbie and didn't really care for Mark. But I love that he did kind of set them up and tells her that we're going to go ahead and let the world know of Nolan. You know, they don't know he's Omni-Man, but we're going to let the world know that your husband passed away. We're going to take care of you. And this was a really cool moment. I'm really excited to learn more from the Guardians of the Globe. But there's one little nitpick that I have about the show. We don't really learn the characters that much. You know, Rex funny, Black Samsung has some powers that went away and now come back without explanation, Duplicate and all these different characters. I want to learn more, Monster Girl and obviously Rudy and all that, but I love this moment for them. And hopefully, as you know, we see Samsung trying to, you know, get Rex to get upset to see them come together. They're now a team. They're cleaning up the old blood for the new blood to come in. So I'm really excited to see them next season and see their journey. We see everyone kind of getting back to normal. Everyone's going back to school. Obviously, Amber is upset. William's upset, eating lunch by himself. We see, you know, Mark's obviously recovering. He's been out for like 2 weeks now at this point. And we're just seeing things kind of, you know, everyone's looking at the picture of what he thought was his best friend. But obviously, you know, he has some things to kind of recover with that friendship there. And obviously, William and them, the Guardians training. And this was just a great way to kind of get set everything up for, okay, characters are coming together. We got some people that might separate. We got Mark learning more about the secrets of the defense team and that moment with the whole we're drinking the water. You can't see this moment. We got Immortal, which I knew they had to bring him back. If a man's head was chopped off, he can be brought back from his body being chopped in half. You know, we wrap up with this great moment here with them looking at the picture. And so I'll send it to you, Michael, man. Your thoughts on this second half, which, you know, we go off this high adrenaline rush and now kind of tone it down and setting, you know, everything's calming down a little bit to see, you know, these characters coming together, certain characters going apart. Your thoughts on the second half?
Man, my heart continued to break for Debbie, like trying to be strong for her son.
Yeah. And
then even like her breaking down and once she got into her own room and Mark having to see that, I was just like, damn. And I've kind of felt for Mark because it's like, what do you say? Like, you can't, because I saw somebody else say before, like, oh, Mark should have went in there and comforted his mother. But it's like, what could he have possibly, like, they're both grieving. They'd have just been crying together. Right. So, but just having that moment, I like that. And then when it came to Amber, I had a big jump into the episode beforehand. I had a problem with how Amber reacted in the last episode.
With him knowing his identity?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense for the kid. And then also it's a double problem that I have because in the comic, she's not black, she's white. Mm-hmm. And then you make her black in the show, which I have no problem with. That's not what I'm saying. But you make her black in the show, but then you have her have this problematic, stereotypical black girl, you know, reaction to you know, sassy black girl reaction to Mark being revealed to be a superhero. And to me, it didn't make any sense because it's like, okay, so you knew he was a superhero. It almost kind of seems like they made her have this reaction like as they wrote this episode, but in terms of the crafting of the story of what we seen beforehand, it doesn't make any sense because you literally got mad at him just episodes beforehand because you thought not even just that, you thought he left, you thought he went because you thought he was the chicken shit,
right?
He went to go take care of himself, but it's like you saw he saved his best friend and he saved y'all asses, so he was there and you knew it was him, but yeah, you got an attitude that he was like that he was a superhero. And then not only just that, but like she was like, oh, you didn't trust me to tell me you were a superhero or whatever. That's what I have a problem with. I'm like, y'all been dating for less than a year. Like, what the fuck you mean he didn't trust? Like he didn't even tell his best friend. So what do you mean he didn't tell? It's not like they've been together for years. They're about to move in together or anything like that. Like they've been dating for like 3 months at max. So like, what do you mean he didn't? Like, I had a big problem with that reaction. So the moment that she showed up and came like all hugged him, oh Mark, I said, get the fuck off of him. I literally had that expression as I watched this episode. But I still at least appreciate that she apologized. I still don't like her reaction, but I had to forgive myself a little bit because I'm like, all right, she's a teenager.
That's where I was going to go. Yeah,
I did a lot of problematic shit as a teenager that I wouldn't do today. So I forgive that. But then also you get more into to what he's another character I have a problem with. I have a big problem with William. I'm not going to go full into it, but I don't like. I did find out that like because where I'm at in the comic right now, his character is not gay, but I found out that later on he has a whole coming out arc, and with the terms of his storyline. So they just skipped all of that and had him just be gay from the start. But me, I just feel like his character is just a sassy gay black best friend because there's nothing to his character other than that. And every time I see him interact with Mark, even in this episode, I'm like, why are they they're best friends? I'm like, why are they best friends? They have nothing in common. Every time, like even jumping to the first episode, there's moments where Mark's talking about the things that he likes. He's talking about comics and things like that. And William's just like, ew. Like, I don't like any of that. And it's like, or anytime they're alone together, Mark gets annoyed with him because William says some dumb shit. Like the moment where he was trying to get consoled about when Amber broke up with him and he said some dumb shit. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to Adam Eve. And then even in this episode, he's like, can we just talk about something else? And he's like, but why? Why? Everybody's literally talking about it. And everybody gave him the react. Like, I don't like his character. Like, there's nothing to his character besides being the sassy gay best friend. And I'm like, and especially based on what I see in the comic, again, he's not gay. But he does even still like he ended up going that route. But even still, there's more to his character. Like I can see why they're best friends in the comic. In the show, I don't know why the fuck they're best friends. Like I get nothing from them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I always thought that we were going to get maybe some flashback of Mark sticking up for him when he comes out or something like that, and maybe they've grown up together and they just had that kind of just friendship of that. But yeah, maybe, and that's something again. Season
but
2.
Even still, when you grow up with somebody. You kind of
you grow up,
not even just that. I was gonna say, but when you're growing up with somebody, there's connection. There's something that you dial into. Maybe you have the same mindset, same thinking, and everything like that. And it's not to say a gay person and a straight person can't be friends. I have plenty of straight friends, but we have a lot. Guess what? We have a lot of shit in common. We can talk about comics and video games and everything like that. But them, like they have so far, I see nothing that they have in common. So I'm like. Do more with this character. Like you, I honestly, I'm like, I would prefer, even though I'm tired of the trope, I would prefer the coming out story because I'm like, at least there would be something to the character. Right now, there's nothing to him. So
it's a great point. And again, we'll see what they do with William. I'm glad that because when last week I thought Nolan again on his power trip and looking for his son, I thought he was going to kill William when he didn't give him the location at that point. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if there's more stories for Rick and him dating a zombie because I don't know if Rick's still alive and with all that whole thing with DA. But it'll be interesting to see, and we'll get to more of the characters too in regards to what to expect from it next. But bring up a lot of good points, man, especially with Amber's reaction. But tossing it to you, Tessa, regarding seeing this aftermath, everyone settling down, Debbie, meeting up with Art and just having that moment with him. And obviously Mark, finally having all his friends know his identity. Even Eve tells her identity, and just kind of that whole kind of aftermath. And also too, we see Immortal getting stitched up, coming back better than ever, I hope.
Yeah, I was really happy with how they did Debbie. Because that makes total sense. Like as a mom, I know like you put on a face in front of your kids, and then she's like, I'm gonna go lay down, and as soon as she gets in there, she lets it all out. So I really love that they did that with her. I did think it was funny when Eve like tells them all, and they're like, okay, like they did not care at all. Like they're like, all right. Even Amber, who supposedly, you know, could figure stuff out, and I thought she was going to be like, I knew, but she was just like, oh, okay. Yeah. Which I thought was a little weird. Another weird reaction, because I was annoyed with her reaction before because of the same thing where she was all upset. Oh, you left us. Well, if you knew he was invincible, you knew he didn't leave. So why did you break up with him over it? And that's what the straw was that made her break up with him. So that didn't make sense to me at all. Because if you knew it was him, why are you going to break up with him for leaving when you knew he was there? But then he tells you, I don't know, that whole part was weird. So I was annoyed with that because it doesn't make sense. You ended the relationship over this thing you knew for months. I don't get it. So that was weird. But yeah, with Debbie, I was excited to see that. And Immortal, I'm excited to see him maybe coming back. And I did really like the whole, you drink the water, you can't see stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, God, don't drink any tap water because you know that shit in real life.
No fluoride.
Right, a little too close to home for that. But I love, again, even all that moments is showing you that they're preparing themselves, because we'll get to this moment here as we wrap up the episode. There's some people that will be coming to Earth. They're going to need all their defenses. But Brandon, man, your take on this aftermath, everyone kind of settling in, Debbie, Mark going back to somewhat of a normal life. They're, you know, Nolan's no longer in their life. He's pronounced dead. We have, you know, all the friends are on the same page now and all that stuff. But just your take on this aftermath.
I actually thought the aftermath was better than the fight between Omni-Man and Mark. You know, I love the way it wrapped everything up. You know, nice little bow, no loose threads. I mean, it was a beautiful conclusion that touched on everything. Also, I got to give it to Michael and Tessa. I love that you guys have read the comics, so you guys are able to compare, you know, the differences between the comics and the show, because that's giving me light right now. And I agree with both of y'all wholeheartedly on the way Amber reacted. I thought that was ridiculous. It made absolutely no sense. Like I said the same thing. I'm like, why can you expect this man to reveal to you that he's a superhero? That's crazy. So when she came to the door and was like, oh, and he was like, you know. And like when Mark was like, oh, does that mean that we're? And she's like, if you want to, I was like, Mark, no, dude, like, out, bro, like,
go holler at Eve. She seems to be more interested in you.
Like y'all got more, y'all both got powers,
right?
You know, you don't got to explain yourself, you know. So that was cool right there. I like how they also excused Nolan's death with the bombing across the street with the gas line. I think it's incredible. I love Cecil, by the way. It makes so much sense that we had that shot of the assembly line of all the dead soldier drone people that he made or whatever,
the zombie
from episode 7. That's genius, because 3 of them were giving Omni-Man a hard time. You know, I'm thinking like if it was 4 or 5, they probably could have beat him. So now it looks like he has an army. Yeah, you need to make thousands of those, you know, if y'all going to be invaded by some Viltrumites or something. So that was cool. You know, I also, I do the whole white light thing with the chemicals laced in the water. That was interesting, and I hope that we get to see that in the future as well in the upcoming seasons. But yeah, Debbie crying, you know, and this scene right here. I mean, I thought she was gonna take the bottle to the head, you know. But it was really sad seeing her, you know, cry like that. I mean, that is a normal reaction. I don't blame her, man. Like it's gonna take a long ass time to find out your whole life's a lie. I mean, just to, you know, I mean, me, a man, whether you're a man or a woman, sometimes people out of life, they just like, I just want to grow up and create a family, you know, and that's some people's life goal, you know, just to have a family, and to find when you finally do after 20 or so years to find out that it was all a lie. Right. I mean, I would cry my eyeballs out too. You know, that's just awful. So I really felt bad for Debbie. You know, even her reaction when Cecil was trying to talk to her afterwards, you know, she's like, get on with this, Cecil. And she had to be like, you know, I'm sorry, this is very kind. You know, he's trying to make sure she's good with the money and all of that. Trying to think anything else.
I will note too, because I forgot to mention in the recap, as far as Mark, Cecil asked him, "Hey, Omni-Man's gone. Can you, you know, for right now, can you temporarily replace him?" He says no, which is interesting that he didn't just jump right back on it. He has to, you know, take all that in, which I appreciate that about the character.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But I like it. I don't know why Samson was tripping about I forgot his name, him trying to wash the blood off the wall. I'm like, bro, dial it back. Yeah, Rex.
I thought that was part of. Wasn't that like a kind of a
think,
thing that he was setting up for they can band together? I thought that was like
that's what he was trying to do. Like,
I thought it was a ruse.
Yeah, because he was
and
like,
then when they
now this
all
is the team.
kind
Yeah,
of backed him up. He's like, oh, all right, yeah.
So
it was like a test, right?
Okay. Oh, well, that's cool. At first, I was like, why you causing problems, bro?
shaking the tree.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I love the way they wrapped everything up. You know, especially I don't know if we're going to get to this, but especially with Seth Rogen's character.
Oh yeah, that was
coming in. I like that too. So
yep, I mean, right on cue there, Brandon. In regards to this wrap up, yeah, we get Alan, the alien, voiced by Seth Rogen, as he tells him, you know, it's like super late. There's a Vegemite on Earth. And it's like, yeah. It's me and my dad. Thanks, Alan. But no, we get this moment here, and he pretty much says that, you know, he sees this as an opportunity because Nolan broke the mission. He did not accomplish it. So this kind of makes us, you know, maybe we have an opportunity to kind of take on them, because again, it's alluding to that the Venturemites are coming to Earth because this mission was not completed by Nolan. So again, we'll get into that as in regards to when we can see Nolan again. But as the rest of the episode kind of wraps up, and Brandon kind of alluded to it as far as the other wrapping up things, we get the Martians still being taken over. That's still a storyline to look into. We have I can't think of the Veltrim Sims. If you guys remember the aliens that took over in episode 2. I don't remember their race name.
Flaxons.
Yeah. So they're still on their revenge story for not only Nolan, but obviously Earth conquered them. So they still have their vengeance. We get this new character. Maybe Tessa and Michael might know who this dragon character is. I can't wait to get more of Titan. Mahershala Ali is awesome, and I love that character. And that episode was fantastic. We'll get to my favorite characters a little bit later, but spoiler alert, Battle Beast, need more of him. He's incredible. Love that character. And man, if you can give me a Battle Beast versus Omni-Man, sign me up.
I was just about to ask about that.
I have a feeling it has to come. I don't know, but it has to. Or
at least Mark gets around 2 with him, because he put the man in the hospital for a couple weeks. But we get the Mauler twins, who I know we talked about on your channel, Brandon. I know you were a fan of them and just kind of their whole story. And I'm excited to see what comes in those 2 characters. You mentioned to this point here, and I love this. This is why I'm a fan, like you said, Brandon, of Cecil. The Nick Fury, he's not a villain. D.A. Sinclair's not a villain to him. This is just someone else that can go on my tool, can go on our part of our team. He builds these armies, like you mentioned. If we're going to go against the Venturemites, they gave Nolan, some fighting chance. So it's really great to see these armies being built by D.A. Sinclair and that kind of relationship, and see where it goes. And there you have it. We got, I don't want to say nitpick, but I was a little upset there was no mid-credit or no post-credit scene, maybe alluding to Nolan going back home and talking to his, I don't know if his parents are still alive or whoever the commander is, like, I failed you. And that's maybe like a stinger at the end. Or what is that mummy character? I don't know if you guys remember in episode 3, there was like a mummy that came to life. And I don't know if that's someone or something to look forward to. Or even what happened to Steve's son, Matt, if the Mauler twins killed Matt and his friend when they were digging up the body of Immortal. A couple plot things that I was just kind of curious if they would bring that back up. But as we kind of wrap up the episode, Michael, just your thoughts on, again, seeing Battle Beast, seeing the Martians still out there, and just how they kind of cap off with the Venturemites potentially coming to Earth.
Before I get to that, really quick, there's a comment that I see that made me laugh from Clay D. It says, Immortal about to be Mark's stepdaddy. So,
oh boy.
Now he's coming back to life, and Debbie's grieving. Who can replace?
I saw someone said Art too. Art might make Cecil, might come over and make sure everything's okay. I don't see the comment here, but yeah, that is funny though. But again, your take on this capping up this season, Michael. And did you want to see a post-credit scene, or it was a satisfying ending for you?
I think it was a satisfying ending to me, mostly because that little flash forward that they got, that they showed of what's coming. Like, it's like, hey guys, this is going to be everything that you're going to get in season 2. I think that was enough for me, because most of what because like I said, I'm on issue 23 in the comic. Most of everything that they showed in this one season is up to where I am. So anything that's coming beyond that, I don't know what's happening. So where Omni-Man flew to, I don't know anything. Obviously there's some differences. Like right now in the comic, Mark is in college right now. So he's not in high school anymore. And So, and then there's also another character that they introduced by this point that they haven't introduced, who I think plays a big role. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna introduce him later on. But I'm really curious to see what threads and what needles they're gonna thread in season 2. And like I said, I'm not waiting. I'm gonna jump in and read the comic. I'm gonna jump in and read the comic because I'm excited because I can't wait. I'm impatient, but I like the way it ended, and I like the conversation with Alan the alien, and I definitely feel like Alan the alien I feel like he's a character that shouldn't be slept on because he's been sparring with Omni-Man for years before he even met Mark. So I'm like, the fact that he was able to do that, like he's definitely
his own.
Yeah, he could definitely put in some work, but I still want to know like what the Viltrumites coming, like what the fuck can they possibly, like a whole army of them? Like they struggled to just take out one. And even the Flaxens, they couldn't even, like, Omni-Man by himself destroyed pretty much the whole planet. So what are they going to do with a whole army of them? And then I don't think, because, you know, Omni-Man, they're not going to have that same connection that Omni-Man has. So they're going to be way more, I feel like they're going to be way more brutal.
Yeah, we think this was savage. There's going to be a whole train, a whole airplane, a whole whatever. A school full of kids.
Oh, yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what Mark, he got to go into a hyperbolic time chamber. Like, I don't know what he got to do. Well, he needs to step his game up. And the Guardians of the Globe, too, because right now, I think they're kind of trash, right, compared to the original. Compared to the original team. But I'm excited to see where they go for season 2. Even though they announced a season 2, they haven't announced when.
Right.
So I'm hoping it doesn't take like 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
I bet they're working on it already.
Yeah, I would say, luckily with this not being live action, you have the opportunity of actors. They're just getting their voice. They're working on animation.
Animation does take a while because they have to draw it and all that.
Yeah. So hopefully last year they animated 4 or 5 or 3 seasons at least up to this point. They're just getting the voiceover. So hopefully,
I wouldn't be surprised if they have more stuff. That they then kind of wait and exactly.
But I do hope that the next season gets more than 8 because there's so much the first compendium alone is like 40 something issues, and by the time we ended this season there's still another 25 issues left just in the first compendium. So I'm pretty sure that will be all of season 2, but I'm like, there's so much. Again, there's like 150 issues. There's so much that they could talk about. So hopefully there's more than 8 episodes going into season 2.
I saw an interview with Robert Kirkman at one point, and he said he thinks they have like 7 or 8 seasons of material from that they could do, like 7 or 8 seasons from his material. So
yeah, hey, the more the better, the more the merrier for me. But Tessa, you're I see the comments here with Yo, North Park, you're killing it. You're killing it. But Tessa, your take on the Viltrumites coming to Earth. Is Nolan a dead man? I mean, if they killed half their population for being weak, this is a sign of weakness. This isn't a sign of strength for Nolan. So is he going to be, we talked about redemption story. It might be hard to redeem himself, but hey, he might want to protect Earth if he's a vigilante of sorts. He broke the rules of them, so that's something to maybe look forward to. But just your overall take on how they wrapped up this first season and this episode here.
Yeah, I love how they kind of wrapped it up with little clips of everything, because it is, if you think about it, and I guess I didn't even realize it until watching those moments. I went, oh, they had like, this is one from each like episode. Like there was this person and this person and this person, and they really did a good job of introducing something in one episode, and then they showed it all there at the end. So I don't want to touch on Nolan because I know a little bit more, at least from my memory. I need to go back. I do want to read them again because now it's starting to all come back. As I'm watching it, I'm like, wait, yeah. And my husband read them too, so we're watching it together going, oh, doesn't this happen? Oh, doesn't that? Oh, what are they doing here? So but yeah, I love how they wrapped it up. I'm glad they didn't have like an end credit type, mid credit type thing. They just kind of left it because I think either that or that little clip of everything one after the other should have been the middle to end credit scene. So I like that they are wrapping it all up, and I'm excited to see where season 2 goes. And I'm definitely going to start reading them over again and get it done before season 2 comes out. Because.
And a quick question before we toss it over to Brandon for Michael and Tessa. That mummy, is that a character in the comics? Is that something to look forward to in future, or is that someone that was in episode 1? I can't remember the name. It was like cow something. That mummy that they closed the tomb on. Is that like an important character at all, or a plot to look forward to?
I was gonna say Tessa could probably answer more than I can, because Where I am, they haven't even teased.
I think that was episode 4. Because I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, it opens with the resurrection of the mummy, and they never go back to that.
Yeah, they haven't even teased anything like that where I am in the book. So
yeah, I'm on like I think I stopped right around the 50s, and I don't recall, which means probably not a major. If anything, it was a subtle. Yeah, because that was a long time ago, but it didn't even ring a bell to me. And my husband actually, we discussed it when we watched it. We were like, "Who is that?" And we didn't remember that. There's a few people few characters that are in my mind as someone I think Michael was talking about earlier that I think will be coming in soon. Gotcha. But the mummy, that's not one that rang a bell anyway. Gotcha. Wasn't good enough to stick with me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wonder, like I said, it felt so random. It was literally, I'm looking at my notes here from episode 4. They open it up with that resurrection. They close the tomb, and they never really addressed that. So I
would like to see Damien Darkblood come back, though.
Yeah,
I was gonna. That's someone in my notes. Yeah, we'll definitely get back to him and his grunting and moaning and all that stuff. But tossing it to you, Brandon, your final thoughts before we kind of dive into some pros and cons about the season and favorite episodes. But your thoughts on how they wrapped up everything, and the Ventramites are coming, and we can look forward to a war to protect Earth.
Yeah, man, it's coming and it's going down. It's going to be serious, and I can't wait. I like that. This the concept that the Viltrumites are coming. I think that's dope as hell. As far as Omni-Man is concerned, there is still no way in hell that anything that he can do to fully redeem himself. I think the most he can do is like just do a complete wash. And you know, it be evened out, and that's by like he has to save the planet, he has to save Earth, and even if he does that,
himself or something,
even if he does that, he's still not fully redeemed. It's like, you know, okay, thank you, you go your way, we'll go our way, but,
right?
Because you're still you've done too much. I also like the training montage that we got with the Guardians, with them training in this as well. And as far as the end credit scene, I was expecting one.
Yeah.
And when one didn't pop up, I was like, oh, you know, just because I was used to it by now. But you know, I completely understand. And I mean, I'm not disappointed by it because I didn't think about it until it was like the episode was ending. But they wrapped everything up so well that, you know, I feel completely satisfied, you know, like I can roll over and go to sleep, you know. So
after all that carnage.
yeah. So it was dope. I loved it. You know, they wrapped up everything the best way they could, in my opinion. So.
No doubt. Couldn't agree with you more. And it's kind of transitioned to the second half of the stream. And we'll go for probably another 20 minutes or so. Just a couple questions I want to bring to the panel as well as to everyone in the chat in regards to just preference-wise, stronger half. You know, the first 4 episodes, they released the first 3, showing us that the ending that had everyone talking of episode 1, with obviously Nolan taking out the original Guardians, going into episode 2, seeing Mark kind of step into that superhero role as we see the Guardians being recruited. Episode 3 kind of diving more into the world building, and I think we see the alien invasion. Episode 4, I mentioned the whole mummy subplot. We also get the Mauler twins being taken out of jail by robots. So that's kind of the first half, and then episodes 5, 6, 7, 8 just kept ramping up the ante in regards to just the blood and the mystery box and all that stuff. So Michael, preference wise, did you feel the first half was stronger than the second, or do you feel like the second was a little bit more stronger for you?
I would say the first half, only because, like, if you go into the show knowing absolutely nothing about it, that's the thing, especially that first episode. That's the thing that really gets you into the show, and then the evolving mystery around what the fuck just happened and why did Omni-Man do that. So I feel like, but for that, the second half would essentially be meaningless. So
true.
And then also getting to know these characters and everything like that, getting to know this world.
Right.
And so I would say, so yeah, because of that, I like the first half better.
First 4.
Yeah.
So that's the same question for you. Did you have a preference in regards to, again, knowing your knowledge from the comics and how they played it out? First half set up the world building, second half really kind of sets the stage for what's to come.
I like the second half better, but that's a good point though, Michael, about what would it mean if it wasn't for that first part. But I just love it. I like how it got bloodier and gorier and grosser. And I love blood and gore. It's my thing. It's my favorite. And so it's like each episode they just stepped it up and stepped it up and stepped it up. And I was like, they're just, it's just up to the train, which was just the best. And I can't wait for season 2 because I feel like they're gonna have to, step it up for season 2, and I can't wait.
I hear you. And then this is interesting. So, Brandon, I know we talked about last week that you binged episodes 1 through 7 like less than a week or something like that. So your experience was definitely taking it all in at one time. So just kind of your take on just kind of how the rhythm and the flow and the tone worked more for you in the first half or the second half.
I don't have a preference, man. It was all good to me, same amount from beginning to end. Because the second half wouldn't have been as good as, if we didn't get the first half, and the first half wouldn't have been as good if we didn't get the second. So I love it all, the same.
Well said. And that brings me to I guess, do you guys have a favorite episode? I have mine, but I'm just curious, starting with you, Michael, with all 8 episodes, did you have a favorite one?
Come back.
The finale.
Yeah,
okay.
Come back to me.
So that's the same question for you. Did you have a favorite? I have mine. I'll just give you I'll give you guys mine and you can think about yours. Mine, I think episode 8, I think is probably my favorite, but second close is, damn, this is hard because I would say second close is episode 7, but I don't know. This episode 5 to me, that's when we got introduced to Machine Head and Titan. I love that grounded story that they kind of told of obviously, he's saving the world. He just saved an alien invasion. But what about the small people? What about the ground level threats on the street with Machine Head? That episode to me and Mahershala Ali, that kind of twist and that penthouse fight when we saw, I don't even know those characters' names, but besides Battle Beast, and that's, we'll get to your favorite characters. But I think episode 5 is high up there for me. I really love that. But episode 8 and 7 were pretty fantastic too. So did you guys have one yet?
Not to say that. I do feel like, which episode was that with Battle Beast?
That was episode 5 when we got introduced to
I would say that's probably my favorite episode because that's when the stakes in terms of the Guardians of the Globe and everything like that. And then also like with Mark, because that's besides episode 8, that was the episode that we seen him get the most brutalized.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I think because of that, that's my favorite episode because that episode was just brutal. And then plus all the stuff with Titan. I love Titan. Mahershala Ali and his performance. I want to see him come back.
Yeah.
So, and I know he's going to come back based on the tease. But I would say that's my favorite episode. And then episode 8 after that.
And I'm even looking at the list, even episode 6, and that's when we get D.A. Sinclair and the whole campus, college campus, and the zombie bots. It's a great show. But
every episode is great.
That's the thing. Every episode has something that's just like the first episode, even the end.
That first episode hooked us. Yeah,
I can't. It's so hard because I have like a favorite moment of each episode that I think makes it so good. But 5 is great, and I do love how Omni-Man's just like watching his son get like destroyed, and I think
because he went again. He said, "Son, don't deal with that stupid petty crime." And he watched his son get his ass.
He just watched him. He didn't even. He could have gone in and stopped it, or at least taken him off him. He didn't care. I don't know. There's something great about every episode. It's really, really hard to choose. I do love the finale though. I think it was great because it's so bloody.
Oh, the blood.
I don't know. Are you guys fans of the show Angel?
Angel. The Buffy spinoff, Angel?
Yeah, the Buffy spinoff.
Yeah. Spike and Angel and all of them. Yeah.
So do you remember the Beast in season 4?
Yes.
That's what Battle Beast reminded me of.
That's a good call. He is a force to reckon with. But oh man, that's a great call there, Michael. Brandon, did you have a favorite episode, my friend, in regards to just the episode that 7? Okay.
Episode 7, man. That was just really intense for me because everything was just coming down to that last minute, down to the wire. And I had no idea how it was going to end, with Cecil trying to teleporting back and forth. And we got to get Mark. We got to get Eve. I was just like, So
taking time bomb.
7 was my favorite.
That's a great call. But like you guys all said, I mean, every episode just got better and better. But the more I'm thinking about it, episode 5 was just so great. I love episode 5. But kind of wrapping up things here in regards to just character-wise, obviously the Grayson family. I don't know if you guys have any more, I guess, predictions on what you would like to see from Mark, from Nolan, from Debbie. Is she going to go out on the town and kind of, find, like they said, a stepdad? Or are we going to see her kind of
let her grieve, people.
Grieve and all that? Starting with you, Michael, while I get my dog real quick. Heard Immortal having a little family, but just your thoughts on
cheeks.
Your take on the Grayson family, what you would hope to see in the season 2, please.
Well, there's a little bit of stuff that I do know based on where I am, so I don't necessarily want to say because I know there's certain things that Debbie and her storyline and everything like that. But I will say at the end of this episode, it's kind of teased. So think about the final moments with Debbie. So you kind of see where she's going to go with her grief. So other than that, I don't know. I have no predictions of where. Like I want to know where Omni-Man went, how he's going to even come back to like how is that conversation even going to go? Like, hey, I'm back. I thought about it for a little bit. And
oops, I'm sorry.
I want to change. I don't even know how any of that's going to go. So yeah. But I'm curious. I'm just curious to see where Omni-Man went. That's really what I'm curious about.
Same here, man.
Because they said he went pretty far away. So
he just kept going.
He said it was another 17 years. Is he going to start another family? Like
that's a great point. Come back with a oh man, Debbie. If I'm Debbie, you just got a whole new family. You just tried to. We'll see.
Called her pet. Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Tessa, your take on the Grayson family and what we can expect for them. Again, knowing the comic knowledge you have as far as just, I guess, show-wise, what you would maybe hope to see from this family in season 2.
I'm so very scared to say anything. I just want to say that I just love their portrayal from the comics to the show. I think that was great. Again, it's a testament to the voice acting and just really, I think, again, there's several characters that I enjoy more in the show than in the comics, and Debbie is one of them. I think as a mom, I like super relate to her a lot, and but I'm not gonna say anything else about. I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to ruin anything accidentally.
Interesting. Tossing it to you, Brandon. Your take on this family? Is it a family? Can we see them again, or can we see them turning a page? And what you would like to see from this family in a season 2?
I think that what is his name? Nolan. I think he went to back to Viltrumite.
Yeah.
Or Viltrum. I can just see Mark continuing to be a superhero, and also I can see Debbie like joining the fold, like helping out the Guardians, helping out Cecil. I don't think that she's trying to go back to a normal life. I think that part of her therapy and from all this is just her wanting to get more involved in the superhero life and something like that. So I wouldn't mind if that happened, but that would be cool to me.
That's actually a great point. I would love to see that Debbie get in the fold, which brings us to another family of sorts. We kind of alluded to it, but did you guys have any hopes, any things that you would like to see from this new team as far as the Guardians? And did you guys have a favorite Guardian by chance? Starting with you, Michael. Of this new Guardians group.
I like Robot, so I want to see more of what the fuck was his thought like his and like I said, because I think the whole him and Monster Girl thing is weird. Yeah. So, but I'm curious to see where that goes, and then his relationship with Rexplode, and because Rexplode right now, I would say he's probably my least favorite Guardian because he's a fucking asshole. Yeah. So I want to see, kind of like when Monster Girl beat his ass in that one episode that they first met. I want to see more of that, and then also they made this whole big deal about Black Samson losing his power and everything like that. But we still don't know. We still don't know what his power is. Like, what can he do? Even during the fight with Battle Beast, he didn't use his powers. Oh no, he didn't have it yet.
It kind of ignited, I guess, him getting beat up, brought it back, which is so. Yeah, I'm excited to learn. Again, I'm excited to learn more from these characters overall. Tossing it to you, Tessa, regarding the new Guardians in regards to hopes, aspirations of them being a team. And did you have a particular Guardian that really spoke to you?
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of Rudy and Monster Girl and that whole thing. It's weird. It's so weird. I don't get it. Like, what do you say? He's like 30 something and now he's like in a kid body so that he can date this girl who's really older. I don't know. That whole thing is weird. And I like Rex, but I like Rex because he's an asshole. Like,
the comedy.
He's funny. I mean, I
Hal
love
Jordan type of jokes.
Whatever his name is. I call him Rocky all the time, but I absolutely love him. So I think it's funny, that whole conversation, just everything he does. I mean, he filled the milk cartons with beer. Like, he's like, "Do you know me?" Like, he's like, "Give me another milk." You know, I love him. I think he's an asshole, but he's funny. So.
It's pretty funny.
And then I also feel like that just sparked something else in me. Out of all the Guardians, the Ant-Man girl, she's the one we know the least amount.
Shrink Girl, I think is her name.
She's the one that hasn't really said anything for the most part. So I want to learn more about her.
Yep, 100%. Brandon, man, your take on this new Guardians team, and did you have a particular Guardian that you thought was great? And what do you hope from this group, man, in season 2? Are they going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy?
I hope so. They're cool. I just want to see more of the development. I can't say that I'm in love with them, but
same.
there's nothing that I just dislike about them either.
Right.
I mean, I don't have any complaints, but I'm not like at the same time. As far as like my favorite, I don't have one. I mean, they're like. I guess my least favorite kind of be like Michael, like you said, the shrieking girl, because she doesn't say anything. But I don't have a favorite. I'm kind of the same on everybody right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna steal Michael's answer. I think Robot for me, because I thought that character was so complex. I thought he was evil. I thought he was gonna take over the world, but he just wanted to impress a girl, and it'll be interesting to see where that relationship goes.
Actually, I take it back. My favorite is Eve. I like
Great
Eve.
call. Yeah, I'm really excited to learn more about her dad, not believing in her and thinking she needs a man to, conquer her goals or whatever. Yeah, it's really cool to see what Eve will come to her. And I don't know, love triangle in the works with her and Amber and Mark in the season
I feel
2.
like her and Mark are definitely. You can see the writing on the wall. They're definitely end game. So it also makes me curious of what they're gonna do with Amber once that relationship blossoms.
100%. Can't wait to see where that goes.
Especially since it's her friend.
That's even more. And then this is my favorite part. I love the villains. So Michael, man, did you have a particular villain of the week, a villain you want to learn more from, and a villain that you are excited to maybe see in a season 2?
Battle Beast, like
the
moment he came on screen and then was just talking shit, like y'all can't. Is this all y'all got? Like,
right, this is beneath me. I'm gonna go. Yeah,
he just leaves.
Yeah, he just left. So I'm like, I definitely need to see more of this, or I need a figure of Battle Beast too, like to add to my collection. So I definitely want to see more of Battle Beast. I need to see a round 2 between him and Mark. Once Mark takes, goes through the hyperbolic time chamber and takes a little bit more karate class. He needs to call Bruce Lee Ward from The Last Dragon to teach him some moves. Can you teach me some moves?
Somebody, man. I mean, hey, Mark Hamill's voice in art. Maybe he can show him some Jedi moves, so maybe we can get some.
And I'm so glad he wasn't, because I thought the last time him and Omni-Man was on the roof,
kill him.
I thought he was dead.
Yep.
But then they came back and saw. I was like, okay, he's still. They didn't Last Jedi Mark Hamill again.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
Tessa, did you have a particular villain in this first season? I guess Omni-Man could be counted in that, but as far as like the traditional villains, you have one that really stood out to you?
I mean, Battle Beast is awesome. I want a hot toys of him. Like, he's so cool. I just love, like we said already, how he's just like, I'm out of here. Like, he just destroys everybody. Basically kills multiple people and then is like, meh, and just leaves. Like, this is too easy. I'm gone. Right. So I just think he's awesome. And then Titan, I guess he's considered a villain. I do love him.
Anti-hero?
I was kind of more anti-hero.
Yeah. So fantastic. I like him too. I love him. Brandon, man, did you have a villain that you was just like, dude, give me a spinoff series, give me all the toys, give me a t-shirt of this villain? Was it a villain that you loved in this show, man?
I am the same as everybody else. I got to see more Battle Beast. This dude, you can't do that. This is beneath me and dips. Like, that's too dope. So
very dark-sidey with his weapon. Is kind of, he's an awesome beast. I can't wait to learn where he comes from. Are there more of his kind? If so, can we get them to help the Ventramites, which would be an awesome battle sequence? But we got some great villains. And shout out to the Mauler twins too. They were kind of the consistent, I guess, quote unquote villain throughout the show, and they obviously have more to do. DA, Sinclair, and Machine Head's pretty cool. The techno voice and all that auto-tuned voice was really cool. So I guess kind of wrapping up, guys. We kind of talked about this point as far as Michael and Tessa did a great job of kind of really breaking down what stood out to them, the differences and all that stuff in the comics. And there's obviously things to look forward to in the future seasons, which I guess brings me to the last point here, ladies and gentlemen. Play this little quick clip before we get into our thoughts, but I thought this was just so fun and I can't wait for more of the show.
I've got 18 missed calls from you.
Listen, I apologize. I'm very sorry to bother you. I don't know where you are or what you're doing. I just wanted to give you some news. Can I give you some news?
Yeah, what's up? Is everything okay?
We have just heard from Amazon that we have been picked up for season 2.
Yeah.
We're also getting picked up for season 3 as well. Season 2 and 3.
That's amazing. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna we're gonna make 2 more seasons? Just go nuts?
We're gonna make 2 more seasons. Hopefully we're gonna make 100 more seasons.
I am so excited that we're gonna have more.
There you have it. We're getting not only a season 2, but a season 3. So again, knowing your knowledge, Michael and Tessa, in regards to what you guys know might happen as far as this show, what would you like to see in a season 2 in regards to where we can take the show anteing up the ante? Starting with you, Michael, as far as season 2. I don't know what the hell to think for season 3, but at least season 2. When would you like to see it? And again, is there any particular plots you would like to see be introduced?
Well, I need to see season 2 next week. That's
right.
So bring it on. Give it to me. But even for that promo, I even like that they played into the whole thing where before they even mentioned Invincible, they just put the title card in there.
Right.
So I like that. But as far as season 2, like I mentioned, there's a certain character that they already introduced where I am in the comic that they haven't even touched on yet, and his name is Angstrom Levy, and they definitely have to go into his storyline because I have a feeling he's going to play. I don't know. He's definitely going to have to play a very big role in where they're going, and I'm curious if season 2 or maybe they're going to save that to season 3, like the Viltrumites coming, like like winter is coming, the Walkers are coming. Like, are they going to?
Boy,
are they going to wait? Like, I wonder how long? Because based on what I know from there's a lot of things in the comic that the show has sped through, like. All the stuff with Robot and everything like that is technically a spoiler for me because they haven't even teased it where I am in the comic. But in the show, it's like said and done. So I was like, oh, is this where they're going with Robot? That's weird. But when it comes to like all the stuff that was happening with Omni-Man, I feel like the show did a very slow reveal of everything that was happening. Or no, I feel like it was revealed more quickly in the show than it was in the comic. In the comic, everything that happens with Omni-Man, you don't find out until like issue 7. So you're reading the first 7 issues, and you think he is the Superman of the world. You think you're getting connected to him and thinking he is the world's greatest hero. Then you get to issue 7, you're just like, wait, what the fuck? And so I will say for that, I do like that a little bit better in the comic because you do get more of a connection to Omni-Man. You do get to see him be the Superman of this world, only to be fucking kicked right in your face with this big reveal, as opposed to like, granted, if you know nothing about the show or anything like that, it's still a surprise. Right. But it would have still been a much bigger surprise or a bigger what the fuck moment if it like maybe happened after a couple episodes. But there's only 8 episodes, so they didn't have enough. They didn't have enough time. So I still liked the way they did it. But overall, I'll probably say I think I like the show a little bit better than the comic because a lot of the great moments that happen in the show are stretched out way more in the show than it is in the comic. In the comic, it's like one panel, swish, bam, boom, done, moving on. Like the fight with the Guardians of the Globe, like the fight with the robots against the D.A. Sinclair robots and Invincible, the fight between Immortal and Omni-Man, the fight between Omni-Man and Invincible. Like all of those fights are way more stretched. The fight between the Flaxons and all of that. So I like the stretched out and staggered nature of these fights and the fact that it's way more brutal, way more graphic, way more gory. So bring on the gore times 1,000 in season 2.
Oh yeah. Sign me up, man. Tessa, again, knowing your knowledge, obviously staying tight-lipped with some of the plots, but just kind of, I guess, excitement level for season 2. And I guess more importantly, when would you expect us to see a season 2 of Invincible?
I'm really hoping that we get it sooner than we all think. I'm hoping they kind of know already. They just announced it, but I think they knew and they've been working on it for a while, and hopefully we don't have to wait too long. Probably.
You think we'll get it by the end of this year?
I don't know. I don't know. I hope, but I mean, I'll take it like Mike said, like tomorrow. Like, let's go. Like, I'll start watching on a Monday. I don't care. It's Sunday, whatever day of the week it is. But like, I hopefully at least early next year at the latest. Yeah. I'm hoping they're already recording, with voice recording and animation, at least they're not really affected as much by pandemic. And also we're getting over that. But I think a lot of, artists, animators can work from home. So hopefully we'll see that. And I'm excited for season 2. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm curious how they're going to do stuff because like Michael said, the pacing is very different where the Guardians fight. I don't even think they fought back. I think it was like 2 seconds in the comics and you're just like, whoa. But it also happens later on and they stuck it right then to the first episode in the show. So I don't know. I'm just really excited. I hope we do see Mark do some practicing and some training though, because he's definitely he's got to hone his skills a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely need some training there. But Brandon, man, your thoughts on a season 2, if you have any particular theories or things you would like to see. And then again, just that calendar, man, when would you hope to see this second season?
Tomorrow,
Yep.
But no, I don't, man. I don't know. I don't have any speculation at all. I just, whatever they want to give us, I'm good because I have no idea. I just want them to hopefully be preparing the earth for what's to come. You know, like if they try to go back to just like, oh, he's gone and the day is saved, I think that would be really stupid. Yeah. I think like everybody on the planet needs to be aware, like these people could pop up any moment now. So we all need to be prepared or we're going to be enslaved. Yeah. And so that's all I want to see. And just more of the Guardians and Debbie getting more involved.
And that's where my theory was in regards to a season 2. I think we might get a time jump. I know Michael brought it up that he's in college at a certain point in the comments. I wouldn't be surprised if we jump 6 months to a year ahead. Guardians are now kind of fully trained. Mark, I hope we get a training, maybe a flashback, but I think he's going to be maybe the superhero that he's, living up to be. And then obviously seeing where Debbie's up to. So I think we're going to get maybe a big time jump, minimum 6 months, but maybe over a year. So, but again, as far as timeline, if they can give it to us, we got so much great content. I mean, Marvel's dominating the calendar every month after June. We're going to get something new from Marvel. So hopefully it'll be interesting if we get a season 2 by the end of this year, but it wouldn't surprise me if they, hell, that would be awesome if they hit The Boys season 3, and then the month after that ends, we get Invincible season 2, and just carry on that momentum. And then whenever, Lord of the Rings, Amazon's looking up, ladies and gentlemen. They're doing their damn thing. So there you have it. We broke down the episode. We talked about our overall thoughts of the season, characters, thoughts for season 2. And man, I had an absolute blast with these amazing people, Michael, Tessa, and Brandon. We got to do this again. I love you guys. You're so awesome. I know we got, a month or so before, a month and 2 weeks for Low Key. Yeah. I don't know, some shows. We talked a little bit off camera about Jupiter's Legacy as far as a show to look forward to. I don't know. Is there anything else big coming out? TV
There's
show
also, I don't know if you guys are big on anime, but Yasuke, whatever, the Black Samurai.
I need to get back in anime, and I'm hearing so many great things about that. I love that soundtrack, by the way. That opening, I saw the title.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna watch that.
You covered it on your channel, didn't you, Brandon? Yeah, I know you reviewed it, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I liked it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to give that a watch. I'm trying to think
it
too.
Too short. It felt really short.
Yeah.
And then there's also the Bad Batch, Star Wars.
Oh yes,
I've never watched Clone Wars, so unfortunately, I'm
me too. I'm behind. Yeah. I haven't finished Clone Wars. So
what are you doing? No. Oh, I've seen the first 2 episodes of Bad Batch, and I can't talk about them yet, but. Catch up. Watch Clone Wars and watch Bad Batch.
I have the screener, but I haven't watched it yet.
Haven't watched it.
You haven't watched Clone Wars.
Do you have to watch Clone Wars to understand Bad Batch?
Here's the thing: you don't have to watch it, and they do a good job because the first episode is like 70 minutes long. So they do.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I hope I was allowed to say that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, oh no,
little mini movie.
Because it basically is, and they do a good job of like real quick, like. Oh, remember when they did this to us, and that's why we're like this, and da 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 da. So they kind of fill you in a little, so you don't have to have seen Clone Wars. Gotcha. I think you'll have a better connection to them.
Right.
There's an episode of the Clone Wars called The Bad Batch. I want to say it's season episode 7, 1 of season 7. I think so. So if you just watched like maybe that one and the one after it, or I'm sure there's a list somewhere. I could dig into it. There's probably 3 or 4 episodes that you should watch.
Just to kind of get
that's all you really need. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because it's just going to follow this group. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm kind of looking through the list. I mean, we got some movies to look forward to this month. I mean, Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder, the Woman in the Window. I don't know if you guys watch Love, Death. Michael, you probably do because you love, blood and all that stuff. Yes. Love, Death, and Robots Volume 2. I cannot wait.
I review season 1. So.
I never finished season. It was a little too much for me. I love it. I think it was the nakedness that got.
Oh, it was pretty much. Oh, yeah, it was pretty crazy out there. We got a couple others, Saw coming out, and obviously Quiet Place 2. So we got a lot of good things to look forward to, and hopefully I can have these wonderful people on the channel and maybe talk about some of these films and shows. But we will be back in June for Low Key. So with that being said, to outro out, starting with you, Michael. Man, again, it's always a pleasure to talk anything, comic book, movies, whatever. Man, you're such a great content creator, such a great person, man. So if you want to let the people know where they can find you and what's next on your channel.
So once again, Elliot, always thank you for joining me on the stream. I'll be here anytime that you want to ask. But yeah, guys, once again, name's Black Gay Comic Geek, so you can find me all over the socials. Black Gay Comic Geek. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna probably watch the however you pronounce it, or from Netflix, and review that. And other than that, this panel made me think of another TikTok video I'm gonna make. My problems with William and quit, all that talking about queer representation.
Nice.
So
Nice.
be on the lookout for that as well. And other than that, I don't know what else is coming out. Well, yeah,
Everything.
Right.
Yeah. I guess I'll watch Bad Batch. A couple people are trying to get me to watch the Nevers and review the Nevers, especially since I am a big Buffy and Joss Whedon fan. But I'm like, but it's Joss Whedon's trash though. Like, I don't know if I want to give him. I'm not throwing away Buffy. I'm not throwing away Buffy, but I don't know if I want to give him a new property. Yeah. And also, a couple people are asking me to watch them. I am not watching that shit because I heard. I'm not here.
No.
Yeah, I'm not here for the trauma, the black trauma.
Yeah.
But I found out what happens in episode 5, and I was like, I'm not doing it. So for all you guys asking me to watch that, it's not happening. But be on the lookout for those other stuff and Love, Death, and Robots and everything that. Black Gay Comic Geek. So.
Awesome. Check him out, guys. He has incredible content. And there's by the way, just a quick side note, if you guys are into crime dramas, Mayor of Easttown on HBO is a really good thriller crime whodunit show. It's which I really enjoy. But Tessa, tossing it to you regarding what's next on Mama's Geekly channel and where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Mama's Geeky everywhere on social, big on YouTube. I also have mamasgeeky.com where I do mostly just reviews of movies and TV shows. Coming up, super exciting, we mentioned Saw, The Spiral from the book of Saw. I have a partnership with IMAX. On Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a live ranking of all the Saw movies with a couple of guests, and we'll be giving away several pairs of IMAX tickets to go see it in IMAX, as well as a virtual escape room experience, which is really exciting. Also be giving some IMAX tickets away for Spiral over on Twitter. And don't tell them I told you, but I'm pretty sure you can just use them for any IMAX movie. So if you really didn't want to see Spiral, you could see something else. I'm pretty sure it's just IMAX. But so I got that coming up, and the Bad Batch review coming up. What else? I think that's about it this week. Oh, I actually have an interview with the voice of the clones, D. Bradley Baker, coming up on Monday.
Cool.
I do have a question for you, Tessa.
Yeah.
Do you want to play a game?
No, he scares the bejesus out of me. Listen, I get so scared. That's why I like the Saw movie so much. I love blood and gore, but I get terrified so easily. So this is like that combination of like creepy, scary.
Yeah.
And bloody and gory.
I love Saw.
I love the first 3. After that, I was like,
kind of goes downhill for sure. Live or die, make your choice. My main man Brandon representing the South, man. Where can they find you? What's next? I know you have your live stream probably scheduled in the coming days and some awesome reviews. But where can we find all that goodness?
Where are you from, Brandon? You from
Dallas.
Dallas.
That's excellent.
Yes, sir. Down here in the South, yes, sir. So B Avery, you can follow me, Just My Opinion 94, Instagram, Twitter, on YouTube mainly. Just My Opinion reviews. We were just talking Yasuke. I did a little review with One Take Big Dog that's up on the channel now. My review for Without Remorse is up on the channel. As far as this week, I'm gonna be checking out The Bad Batch. Also checking out, I think it's The Wrath of Man with Jason Statham, and also Jupiter's Legacy. I'm gonna try to get all those reviews out next week. And I think I had, I have my movie news roundup show tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about yet, but I have a few ideas. And, later on this evening, I may do another live on my channel to talk about a little bit more of Invincible. But yeah, that's what I have going on right there. So if you want to check it out, just come on over, hit the subscribe button, and, join the fam.
Oh yeah, do yourself a favor, guys. Check out also too. I know you just reviewed Without Remorse. I know Michael, you had your review out, and as well as Tessa, very interesting. Spy espionage film, Mr. Michael B. Jordan. So guys, check out all their content. You will not be disappointed. They are constantly putting out some incredible content, and you guys should already be subscribed to them. If you're not, what are you doing with your life? You need to check these people out because they're incredible. But as far as movie files go, again, I just mentioned it. Mayor of Easttown review tomorrow. Jupiter's Legacy Legacy. We got that coming out. Selena Part 2, which, you know, we'll talk about that. I don't know if you all watched Selena or not, but yeah, we got Part 2 coming out later this week. And then, of course, some other stuff to look forward to. So, yeah, check us out, guys. Again, subscribe to all of our content. Follow us on our social media accounts. Again, if you're watching us on the replay, thumbs up, share, all the great comments, leave it in the comment section. Again, for Michael, Brandon, and Tessa, thank you all so much. Again, we got to do this again. You guys are incredible. Love what you guys have to bring to the table, and you guys are fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.
Don't be like